RCMP investigate a cluster of homicides across the province. One, a triple homicide of 3 men. Survey says why Saskatoon businesses are leaving a bad review of the mayor's office. And Saskatchewan sees its first taste of wintry weather. The question now is, will it stay?
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. A new survey describes a strained relationship between business owners and City Hall. It suggests the mayor is losing support from the business community. Keenan Sorokon explains why and how the mayor is responding.
Survey results of nearly 700 Saskatoon businesses obtained by CTV News shows the mayor has plenty of work to do to win back support from the commerce community.
It's like any customer service survey. You know, people are going to tell you what they think, and they are passionate about it. And 9 times out of 10, they are completely valid.
Many responses called to reduce property tax increases and say operating in Saskatoon has become too expensive. When asked to rate the business relationship between the city of Saskatoon and businesses in Saskatoon, the average response was 4.5 out of 10.
It's one thing to know what the concerns are. It's sometimes another to actually hear it from people that are living it every day. And we know there's frustrations, and we share those frustrations.
When explaining their score, the top response was downtown and safety issues, describing downtown as unsafe due to open drug use and aggressive behavior. The survey shows calls for more of a police presence, faster response times, and tougher enforcement.
A business owner operator is trusting the public systems, the public programs, the public services that they are contributing to like everybody else, and there isn't a change that they are seeing and experiencing.
When it comes to council and the mayor, business leaders point to poor leadership and lack of business understanding, saying that City Hall is slow, inefficient, and overly bureaucratic.
We can't be a strong community without a strong business community, and that businesses are our partners, not problems to solve.
A sizable number of responses had no further suggestions or felt the city was already doing enough.
We're all here because we want Saskatoon to win, all of us.
With the message heard loud and clear, Block says she's ready to roll up her sleeves to improve City Hall's relationship with businesses. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now to a cluster of homicides across the province. RCMP spoke about the many cases they are now looking into this week. One is a triple homicide of 3 men near Turtleford. CTV's Stacey Hine has those details.
RCMP say 6 people have been killed in 4 communities across the province in the past week. Grandmothers Bay, Turtleford, Snowden, and Whitewood. Charges have been laid in each case.
Our role as police is to investigate all suspicious deaths throughout the province, with the ultimate goal of charging the person or persons responsible.
Officers first responded to a homicide in Grandmothers Bay on Tuesday. 26-year-old Keelan McLeod has been charged in the death of 18-year-old Melissa Charles. The next day, officers were called to a triple homicide on a rural property northwest of Turtleford. RCMP say 3 men were seriously injured. Officers tried to save them, but all 3 died of their injuries. 25-year-old Madison Patty Jimmy is facing 1 count of second-degree murder. There is no word on whether Patty Jimmy will face any additional charges. 28-year-old Tonio Cantel from Island Lake First Nation has been identified as one of the victims. RCMP is not releasing the names of the other 2 men. We do know one is a 46-year-old man from Turtleford.
If charges are laid in relation to them, then their names will be made public at that point.
Later that day, Nipawin RCMP were called for a wellness check at a home in Snowden. Officers found 69-year-old Diane Searcy dead. Her husband, 68-year-old Kevin Searcy, has been charged with second-degree murder. On Thursday afternoon, RCMP were called to a home in Whitewood for reports of an injured man. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A boy who cannot be identified under a publication ban has been charged with first-degree murder. Police say they can't release many details while the investigations are ongoing, acknowledging the recent string of homicides is putting a strain on officers.
It takes a toll on our teams across the province, especially when these clusters happen.
Madison Patty Jimmy will appear in court in Lloydminster next week, while Kevin Searcy will appear in court in Nipawin on December 10th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Ministry of Health has issued another overdose alert after samples tested in Saskatoon showed a dangerous mix of drugs. The samples tested by Prairie Harm Reduction show the drugs contain parafluorofentanyl, benzodiazepines, and a veterinary anesthetic. Officials are warning the drugs circulating have been sold as yellow, red, blue, and pink chunks. They warn naloxone will only reverse the effects of fentanyl, so there is a high risk of overdose and death if these drugs are consumed. Humboldt RCMP are investigating a fatal rollover. On Wednesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, RCMP responded to a single vehicle rollover on Highway 761 about 9 kilometers east of Lanigan. The driver was declared deceased at the scene, a 34-year-old from Winnipeg. His family has been notified. Now to Saskatchewan's first taste of winter. Yesterday's snowfall has left streets and highways slick. Jasmine Pelche reports from Prince Albert.
Prince Albert's first major snowfall is keeping paramedics busy, responding to more vehicle collisions and falls.
Lots of people where the road conditions have been icy, they've slipped off their highways. In the city, we've seen a number of slip and fall incidents as well.
Parkland Ambulance says crews responded to 6 crashes during the Thursday day shift.
And in terms of slip and fall incidents, I think there was probably about 3 or 4 of those incidents as well, which is when you put that into the day's activities, it kind of just adds another layer to our response times.
Environment Canada says that with these weather conditions, icy roads are to be expected.
We saw some fairly mild temperatures before this snowfall event, so often a lot of that snow melted on contact and then refroze. So it's made for some slippery driving conditions.
Sanding trucks hit the streets following the snowfall. The city advises people to report any snow-related concerns online. And while Prince Albert is experiencing winter road conditions, Environment Canada says these conditions aren't here to stay, at least not yet.
So by the time we get to the end of November, early December, when this cold air comes in, oftentimes it stays for an extended period of time. And we're not seeing that yet at this point.
Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Well, Jeff, after that snow, we have some meltier conditions coming.
The meltier conditions are on the way. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a cold day thanks to a low pressure center that's up in Hudson Bay, and that is helping to drag some of the colder Arctic air down. We have a high pressure area that's clearing out the clouds, so we've got ourselves conditions that are cold but improving as we head towards the latter part of the weekend and into early next week. So we'll talk about that a little later on, but that's how things are shaping up right now.
The Saskatchewan government says 40 of the 109 acute care beds planned for Saskatoon City Hospital are now open. Today, government leaders and healthcare workers gathered for the announcement. The 40 beds that are operational are caring for patients on the 6th floor of the hospital. The province says once fully implemented, the expansion will increase overall capacity by 14%, helping emergency departments become more efficient and reducing wait times. The announcement includes 22 acute rehabilitation beds, 12 acquired brain injury beds, 60 for general medicine, 15 high acuity beds, and the addition of support services like pharmacy and laboratory.
Having 40 acute care beds out of the total of 109 new beds open and operational is something that we're very excited about. The SHA acknowledges that the hospital capacity pressures create a difficult environment for our patients who are seeking care in our emergency departments.
Some outpatient and continuing care services will transition to other settings to make room for the new acute care beds. The Saskatchewan government is expanding strep throat testing to more communities. 11 more pharmacies across the province will now be able to test for strep, bringing the total to 22 locations. At these pharmacies, trained pharmacists can assess symptoms, perform a rapid strep test, and prescribe medication if needed.
There's some communities where the pharmacy is the main access point for healthcare. So I think specifically in those communities, this is a great opportunity to really expand what can be done in a pharmacy from a primary care sense, so that people can stay closer to home, people have quicker access.
Health officials say expanding access can help catch strep early, preventing spread and reducing the risk of serious complications. Saskatchewan's Agriculture Minister Daryl Harrison has asked the NDP to substantiate allegations that foreigners are illegally purchasing provincial farmland. The NDP says the government has looked the other way and has failed to enforce the law. Harrison has given the NDP until Monday to prove it. Wayne Mantika with those details.
The NDP is concerned that not enough is being done to detect foreign purchase of Saskatchewan farmland.
We've been calling on that government from the moment they've been elected, and they look the other way and have failed to enforce the law.
The allegation has angered the Agriculture Minister, who has sent a letter to the opposition saying, "I ask that you provide any evidence, documentation, and/or information regarding the serious allegations you have made directly to the Farmland Security Board no later than November 10th at 5 p.m.
And I would say that if the critic, Mr. Speaker, the opposition critic, has an example of where he, in his words, says that the government of China, the People's Republic of China, or Chinese citizens are owning farmland in Saskatchewan, that he report that immediately.
In a recent report, the provincial auditor found 5 cases since 2020 where orders were issued to sell farmland inappropriately purchased. 8 cases were unresolved, and the auditor expressed concern that the government does not have escalation procedures to take further action.
But we need integrity of that system and to make sure that we're enforcing our laws and protecting against illegal foreign acquisition.
The NDP say it based its allegations on cases raised by producers and that all were advised to contact the Farmland Security Board. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon Public Schools are honoring National Indigenous Veterans Day. Schools across the city lowered their flags to half-mast and will stay lowered until Remembrance Day. The schools say it's important to remember the sacrifices of Indigenous veterans, acknowledging that for many years their contributions were often overlooked in mainstream commemorations. Some high school students in Saskatoon gathered today to pay tribute to those who have served our country. Edie Catholic High School held its Remembrance Day ceremony ahead of November 11th to honor Canada's veterans. The ceremony featured a veteran who shared their story, as well as wreaths being laid in honor of the fallen. Students also had a chance to add the names of family members who are veterans to the school's Wall of Remembrance. Just a reminder, nominations are open for the Saskatoon Citizen of the Year Award presented by CTV. The Citizen of the Year Award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference in our community. To find out how to nominate that special someone, guides are available here at CTV Saskatoon, or you can head to our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December 31st. Still to come, the federal government faces another test on Parliament Hill. Also, why Canadians are skipping paying bills to afford necessities. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. The Liberal government is still standing after facing yet another test on Parliament Hill today. Prime Minister Mark Carney's caucus survived a second confidence vote in as many days, just as Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre faced more questions over a second MP announcing plans to leave his party. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the latest developments from Ottawa.
MP Matt Genereux says he likely won't be leaving until the spring. But if the opposition are counting on the outgoing Albertans' vote, it's worth noting he didn't cast one in either last night's or today's confidence tests.
How many seats do you need to have a majority?
I can't remember.
Do you want to answer?
Need a couple. So call your local MP if they're not a Liberal and tell them.
Prime Minister Mark Carney joking about gaining more MPs after Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre lost a second first in as many days. Multiple sources say Matt Genereux was in talks with senior Liberal staffers about crossing the floor this week. But Conservative Party officials made it clear there would be consequences if he did. Genereux pushing back, posting a second statement, insisting there was no coercion involved in his decision to resign. The party now saying his announcement was expedited by Liberal pressure tactics.
The only rumors I've heard of intimidation and harassment are from Liberals badgering Conservatives in elevators and calling them at home.
The drama driving chatter among MPs ahead of a second confidence vote in the Commons today.
Matt's been a wonderful colleague, and I wish him all the best.
I think there's some soul-searching going on. Mr. McKinnon gets no.
The government survived the Bloc Québécois attempt to reject the budget. And now Liberals will spend the next week selling their spending plans before the key final vote on November 17th.
I sure hope that the opposition parties see how much is in that budget for their own regions.
The Liberals got one seat closer this week with MP Chris D'Entremont crossing the floor, but are still a few votes shy of a majority government. And with the Conservatives and Bloc making their opposition to the budget clear, the focus will be on how the NDP vote or don't the week after next. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Canadian economy has surpassed business analysts by adding 67,000 jobs last month. The overall unemployment rate was also down slightly to 6.9%. CTV's Heather Wright now on the numbers and the story they tell about the labor market.
For an economy that has been blindsided by U.S. tariffs, today's job numbers are welcome news. Unemployment is down, wages are up, and even some sectors like manufacturing and transportation, which lost a significant number of jobs in the summer, appear to be rebounding.
Over the course of September and October, we're actually seeing kind of a recovery in these sectors, and the sort of the level of employment in both sectors, we're now back to where they were kind of closer to the spring.
Canada added 67,000 jobs last month, with the overall unemployment rate dipping slightly to 6.9%. And while experts say this jobs report is a sign the labor market is beginning to recover, many are still struggling.
I've been applying to more than 100 jobs.
Catherine So is 22 years old and has been searching for months for a job as an early childhood educator. She's open to other jobs as well to help pay the rent, but she's struggling to find anything.
I'm definitely concerned about not landing a job as soon as possible, especially because I don't have much money saved up.
So is not alone. The youth unemployment rate is the highest it has been in decades, though it did drop from 14.7% in September to 14.1% last month. Another area economists are watching is part-time work. All of October's job gains were part-time positions, a sign of uncertainty in the market.
When businesses are looking to hire, they don't want to hire full-time because they're not sure what the coming year is going to look like.
This strong jobs report now has many economists predicting the Bank of Canada will hold its overnight lending rate at its next rate announcement in December after 2 consecutive cuts. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The cost of living crisis continues to take a toll. A new Nano survey for CTV found 22% of Canadians skipped at least one bill this year to buy groceries, with younger adults hit hardest and Atlantic Canada feeling more strain. CTV's Maria Saru has the story.
The doors swish open at this Charlottetown store. Carts rattle out and islanders load groceries into their cars. But some say putting food on the table comes with trade-offs.
It's getting harder all the time.
I usually try to aim for as many sales as I can.
The more it's getting higher, it's affecting our daily bills.
My car insurance, the fuel, my phone bill, my rent, the groceries, and all that stuff.
New Nanos research for CTV News found 1 in 5 Canadians have skipped paying bills to buy groceries in the past year, and those under 55 were 4 times more likely to do so. Inflation and high housing costs are major factors contributing to the generational divide, says Chief Data Scientist Nick Nanos.
What's clear is that there's a significant proportion of Canadians
that are facing those really tough choices. It's quite striking. I think in any other world, this would be considered an epidemic.
13% said they skipped bills sometimes or often, but a regional breakdown shows that number is highest in the Atlantic provinces at 24.2%. The data aligns with other research, says Joshua Smee with Food First NL.
All 4 provinces have upwards of 25% of people being food insecure. Our unemployment rate has generally been higher than the rest of the country. There are more people struggling economically.
He adds that means a higher number of people relying on social assistance or income supports. Shoppers here tell me what would really help is lower prices at grocery stores. But for now, many will keep making compromises. Maria Sru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
More than 2,000 flights were canceled or delayed at dozens of busy American airports today. As the government shutdown continues, a shortage of air traffic controllers who aren't being paid is grounding planes and frustrating travel plans. CTV's Joy Melvin has the story.
The anxiety from it was crazy, like all morning, just like seeing if we were going to be good to go, you know? So, I don't know, it kind of sucks.
For travelers, it kind of does. With all eyes on the skies, thousands of flights are being delayed or grounded.
We stayed at a hotel last night that was, $150 out of pocket. Now we're going to be another, couple $100 out of pocket, taking a rental car, driving it down.
And it's going to get a lot worse. Major airlines ordered by the Trump administration to drastically cut domestic flights at 40 of the busiest airports in America, ramping up flight reductions by 10% or more by next week until this government shutdown ends.
It is not a science, it is a art that we're trying to deploy to keep people safe in the airspace. We're trying to prevent the pressure that we now see building in the system.
Thousands of TSA screening agents and air traffic controllers, essential workers who keep the skies safe, are working without pay, with reports of burnout and calling in sick.
When you don't pay somebody for 37 days and say, hey, just keep showing up and do your best, people are going to have issues.
Canadians bound for the U.S. could get caught in the chaos.
The major airlines here in Canada will start to pull back on their flights because they don't have the slots to get in. But also, it's the overflying flights going down to the Caribbean, going down to South America. They have to fly over the U.S.
Fed up, angry, and pointing the finger at the politicians.
It's just all unexpected. I'm just sick of it. It's like, what about us?
These flight cuts are expected to disrupt holiday plans, and with the Thanksgiving travel rush just weeks away, the timing couldn't be worse.
The controversial cull at an ostrich farm in BC is complete, with about 300 birds shot dead last night in an operation that stretched several hours. Now, confirmation coming from the BC RCMP and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The farm became the site of an emotional protest and a high-profile court battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada, which refused to hear the case. The CFIA says that after consulting experts experienced in managing ostrich disease outbreaks, it concluded the most appropriate and humane option was to use professional marksmen. The farm is still quarantined under the Health of Animals Act. The farm's owners argued the flock was healthy and had herd immunity from avian flu. Its request that the birds be tested for infection was refused by the CFIA. All right, Jeff, just waiting on the warm-up, but the weekend's not going to be too bad, right?
The weekend is going to be okay. Well, Saturday. Saturday's going to be cold. I'm not going to lie about that.
You shouldn't lie, ever.
No. Pure thoughts and deep breathing. That's me. What we can tell you that things will start to transition. They'll change a little bit on Sunday, and then Monday is looking quite warm, and Remembrance Day is looking pleasant as well, so that shouldn't keep you away from any of the weather shouldn't get in the way of you attending or paying your respects on Remembrance Day. -6 degrees right now, -11 in Prince Albert, -7 in the Battlefords. And as we take a look at what's going on with our almanac, well, -5 degrees, so temperatures were 7 degrees below seasonal. 19, that is the record warm temperature from 1999. Space, 1999. Still a reference. -27 degrees from 1945. That's the cold temperature record on this date. And 8:13 is when the sun came up, and it went down at 5:27.
Coming up, the famous furniture that stole the World Series spotlight, why there's been so many conversations about this couch.
honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Monday on Your Morning, we are across the province teeing up Remembrance Day ceremonies in a community near you.
All right, welcome back. Taking a look at the live lens of Skycam, and we haven't had this look in a while. Yes, white conditions in Rotary Park, and yes, a lot of that will melt. You know, it's still a reference. Space 1999. I said every time, like, there you go. Barbara Bain, Martin Landau, Academy Award winner Martin Landau. This was a classic show from, well, the 1970s. But it was, you know, whenever I have a 1999 in the record books, I usually say Space 1999, and this is why. All right, are we cool on that? Sure. There we go. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot. I think Chantal has a look of mystification on her face. A low-pressure area, that Alberta Clipper that we talked about, continuing to slowly make its way through Saskatchewan, eventually into the Plain States and into the American Midwest. And so we're not anticipating a lot in the way of flurry activity, but a high-pressure area is building in behind it, and along with a low that's anchored up in the Hudson Bay area, we are looking, or Hudson's Bay, I should say, area, we are going to be seeing a lot more in the way of cold air moving down through Saskatchewan, actually into the States too. Things can get quite cool down in the weekend for some of the football games. -6 degrees in Saskatoon, -11 in Prince Albert, and -7 in the Battlefords, with some light flurries in the area, but that should be tapering off fairly soon. Maple Creek, the hot spot today at 10. Key Lake, the cold spot at -24. Around the province we go. We have 6 degrees right now on the minus side in Lloydminster, 0 in Swift Current, -3 in Estevan, -2 in Regina, -8 in Yorkton. In central Saskatchewan, temperatures a little milder towards Kindersley, where it's -4, but it cools up to -13 in Melfort, -10 in Waskesiu and Nipawin and Spiritwood and Wynyard, -11 in Hudson Bay. Up north, temperatures drop off a little bit more, -12 degrees in Stony Rapids, Collins Bay and Key Lake, -7 in Buffalo Narrows, -9 in La Ronge, and -7 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls. And down south, still some locations on the plus side. Well, just one location on this map, and that's 4 in Maple Creek. Otherwise, collection of zeros, and then -3 degrees in Outlook, Elbow, Last Mountain, Weyburn, and Carlisle, but it cools off to -8 in Melville right now. On to our futurecast. Well, there's that bullseye low sliding down through Montana into the Dakotas, and as I say, making its way south. And then you can also see that big low up in Hudson's Bay and a big curl around that on a counterclockwise fashion. So Ontario is expecting some snow, but pretty much isolated flurries in Saskatchewan and not as windy as it will be in Alberta. So for tomorrow, we have -5 degrees in La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, -10 in Stony Rapids, -9 in Key Lake under cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. A similar sky condition in west central Saskatchewan, temperatures of -6 in Meadow Lake, -7 in Spiritwood, -3 for a high in Kindersley, -4 in Rosetown, 3 on the plus side in Maple Creek, but then on the minus side for Leader, Outlook, and Swift Current, -5 in Outlook tomorrow. Temperatures hovering around that -5 degree mark for the southeast under mainly cloudy skies, and just about a degree cooler for east central Saskatchewan, basically around -6 degrees, and mainly cloudy conditions for these locations. Flurries tapering off in the Battlefords tonight, -8, -7 tomorrow under cloudy skies, and then -1, so back to seasonal temperatures on Sunday. And then look at that. 8 degrees on Monday. Remembrance Day, 6 degrees, and staying on the plus side of the thermometer for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. A chance of some showers or flurries, or both on Friday, but it's a slight chance. -16 degrees for Prince Albert overnight. -7 tomorrow for a high, so that's cool. But -3, a little below seasonal, but not by much on Sunday. Monday, a bit of sunshine breaking through the cloud deck, but warming up to 6 degrees, so we'll probably see some melting starting on Monday and continuing through the rest of the week, because look at those plus temperatures, and that includes Remembrance Day. And Saskatoon, -14 degrees, slight chance of flurries tonight. I mean, ever so slight. -14 degrees, -6 tomorrow. Wind, not a problem, but still have to bundle up if you're going to head out to Griffith Stadium to watch the Huskies take on the Rams in the Hardy Cup. And finally, we've got ourselves 0 degrees on Sunday. Of course, that's Hilltops versus the Okanagan Sun. 9 degrees to start the work week, 7 on Remembrance Day under mainly cloudy skies, and then temperatures of around 4 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday, and a not bad Friday shaping up with a chance of showers, but still on the plus side. Justin Bieber is among a handful of Canadians nominated for this year's Grammy Awards. He's up for Best Pop Solo for his hit Daisies, along with Best Pop Album for Swag. Tobias Jesso Jr. from North Vancouver is up for Songwriter of the Year. He collaborated with a number of the nominees, including Bieber, on his album. Producer Circuit from Halifax is up for Producer of the Year. He produced Lady Gaga's album Mayhem, including the viral Dead Dance song featured in the Netflix show Wednesday. Gaga's album is up for a number of awards, and Calgary's Tate McRae just keeps watching from this summer's F1 movie, is nominated for Best Dance Pop Recording.
Q, can you lower the lights for me, please?
Fans of Michael Jackson are getting their first look at Michael, the upcoming biopic telling the story of the rise of the king of pop. Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar Jackson takes on the role of his late uncle. The official synopsis says the movie focuses on Jackson's early solo career, saying this is where his story begins. Gosh, I would have thought it would start with the Jackson 5, but that's just me. It's in theaters in April. Warner Brothers has added a Gremlins 3 to its release schedule. It will see Steven Spielberg return as executive producer, while Chris Columbus will direct. A plot description and who will star in the film has not been disclosed. The first film was released in 1984, with a sequel in 1990. Gremlins 3 is set to hit theaters in November 2027.
All right, Jeff, with the cooler weather here, it's important to have warm coats.
And someone's doing something about it. The fire is warm, and keeping warm is a big part of what we're talking about today. Sean Scher is with me today from the Knights of Columbus. We're talking about the Coats for Kids campaign, in particular the cabaret that's coming up very soon. But the campaign itself, I understand, over the course of a number of years, 35,000 brand new coats, 7,000 coats last year. This is a big program.
It is very big, and the need just continues. Every year it gets bigger, and we're able to buy in bulk and get the brand new coats out to the people in need, whether it's in the schools, in anywhere that community centers, whatever, we get them wherever the requests come from.
And it's across Saskatchewan, so I know you're filling a need that is certainly there. Let's talk about the cabaret. When's it coming up?
Yeah, it's on the 14th of November. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. It's going to be held here at the Holy Family Cathedral Hall, which is a nice location for everybody to get to. Beautiful spot. Hopefully everybody can come.
And where do people get those tickets, Sean?
Well, they are available at the door, but get them early. You can look me up. My number is 306-221-1056. Give me a call. I'll reserve your tickets for you. $25 a person gets you in, and with that buys a coat. So if a couple comes for $50, that buys 2 coats to give away.
That is great. Well, thanks so much, Sean, and we thank you for all the work you're doing in the community.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Jeff. Go Riders.
All right, Jeff, time for pick of the day. Do you have a theme today?
No theme. Well, you know, I guess we could say it's celestial things, but we'll start off with this one. We've got ourselves a lovely sky here, and Lori sends us this one, sunrise at Green Lake. So thank you, Lori. That is a lovely shot. And as you can see in Green Lake, a little bit of snow on the ground there, so yes. Next one comes to us from Diane, the supermoon over Carrot River, and that was from the morning of November 5th, so 2 days ago. So yes, a lot of people sent us in pictures of the supermoon, but thank you for all those submissions. We only have room for so many. And finally, from Jules Chenard, build it and they will come. Bird feeder in the shape of a home plate. Nice anti-slip batter's box for a soft landing. So yes, great to see that blue jay there, and a nice shot, Jules. So thank you so much for sharing those images. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews.ca or scan the QR code on the screen. And please put pick of the day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, the prized pullout. Why this piece of furniture is the talk of town following the World Series. piece of furniture that gained a lot of attention during the Blue Jays World Series run is on display. The pull-out couch that Blue Jays outfielder Addison Barger slept on the night before he hit a pinch hit grand slam is getting its own exhibition. CTV's Jessica Smith explains.
Barger on your couch last night?
He was, yeah.
The night before one of the biggest games of his career, Blue Jays outfielder Addison Barger crashed on teammate Davis Schneider's pull-out couch at the Marriott Hotel attached to the dome.
He was staying with Miles and then stayed with me last time. My girlfriend's here, so like, he was like, "I sleep in the bed with you guys?" And I was like, "No, sleep on my couch. Sleep in the pull-out." It's a pull-out, yeah.
We did have a room for him. That's the irony of this whole thing, and he didn't want to sleep alone, before a big game.
After a grand slam in the 6th inning of Game 1 of the World Series, the lore of the pull-out couch lives on. Now on display in the hotel lobby, with fans flocking in to have a seat. Is that the couch? No.
With the whole momentum, I mean, we're still carrying it with us, and we're talking about a couch. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's a pretty special story.
And as far as how comfortable it is,
it was squeaking all night, like
tough for the back. Pull-out couches are the most uncomfortable thing imaginable.
It was so funny. I looked over and I just see him just sleeping there and in the middle of the night, and he's a head case, but he's funny.
Well, I think he got a great sleep. I think that's the secret sauce here. He clearly really enjoyed his stay, and again, he looks so relaxed in that picture. It's unbelievable. He's just doing his thing and hit one of the biggest home runs in Blue Jays history the following day.
Giving a whole new meaning to the phrase big comfy couch. The couch will be here in the lobby on display until November the 14th. Then the hotel says they're not sure if they're going to keep it here on display, auction it off for charity, or put it back in its original room. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
When we come back, another weekend for Saskatchewan football. That is big. And later, the zoo enlisting some help to name that dragon.
Welcome back. Time for the rural forecast. But before we talk about these numbers, just some numbers that we received from Environment Canada. As of 10 a.m. today, just with regard to the snowfall, I think in Saskatoon, that's not on the official list. I think Saskatoon, according to the picnic table of science, I would probably say about 2 centimeters of snow, maybe even 3 in some places. But Meadow Lake, 8 centimeters of snow. Prince Albert, 7. Holbein, 11.4. They got the most snow. That's up around the Shellbrook area. The Battleford's 3.3. Melfort, 9. And Rabbit Lake, 8. And so, yes, a significant amount of snow in some places, but much of this will melt. So let's take a look at it. It's not going to melt tomorrow, though, not with these temperatures. Temperatures, as you can see, decidedly below seasonal. -3 in Kindersley, -7 in Spiritwood, and in Melfort, -5 in Hudson Bay. The same for Outlook, -6 in Wynyard, and then down into the southern part of the province. On the plus side in the southwest, Maple Creek and East End at 3 degrees, but then dropping off as we make our way towards Carlisle, where it's -5 tomorrow, or it will be, -6 in both Kenora and Broadview. Many other places in around that -3 or -4 degree mark. And let's take a closer look at Hague. And don't forget, Hague has their big tree lighting event coming up on December the 13th. It's the first time the community has done that, so they got lots of things going on. And once again, don't forget, specialty coffee served by Daily Delights, which is the new coffee shop in town. So that's coming up on December 13th. So for tomorrow in Hague, we've got ourselves partly cloudy skies, -7 for a high, so another cold one, but the wind won't be super strong, but even a light wind is going to make that -7 feel a bit bitey. So don't forget, Hague is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Saskatchewan's 2 university football teams are getting ready to face off this weekend for the 88th Hardy Cup final. The 7-1 U of S Huskies have the advantage of playing at Griffith Stadium for the Canada West Championship game. The visiting University of Regina Rams, who finished 6-2, lost their only meeting against the Huskies this season. It's a rematch of last year's Hardy Cup, where the Rams won 19-14. With snow on the ground, weather conditions could play a factor in the game that both coaches are prepared and even excited for.
I think we should play every year, twice a year, just being rivals and being so close. And but yeah, we're excited. It's been a while. It's been week 4. It was nice that we did get to play up here for a lot of our first-year guys who've never been up to Griffith Stadium. So yeah, it's long overdue, and we're just excited for an opportunity to compete against one of the best teams in the country.
This is going to be the most physical game of the year. I can guarantee you that. It just will be. They're going to be structurally sound, well coached, all that stuff. So top of mind for me is just making sure that we know what we're doing, that we're in our spots, and we're as coaches putting them in positions to succeed.
Kickoff is 2 p.m. tomorrow from Griffith Stadium. Despite some lingering injuries, the Roughriders are treating this game like any other. As Donovan Mace reports, the team is confident a slew of experience in big games is key to becoming the best in the West.
Trevor Harris is done talking about the BC Lions quarterback.
I'm not here to talk about Nathan Rourke. I think it's our time.
Led by Harris, it's our time has been the mantra for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this season, as the quarterback believes this team is ready to make a run for a Grey Cup.
We have guys that the moment's not going to be too big for them, and we've seen it all year. What gives me confidence in those moments is just the guys we have in our room.
30 seconds left. Now, last year, Saskatchewan's season came to a halt in the West Final at the hands of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Late for the Riders, as their season will end with a touchdown.
The way I think we attacked it last year is everybody was geeked up and, you know, storm the castle kind of vibe. We're just operating business as usual for us, which I think is a good thing.
A year older and closer as a team with greater expectations, the Riders believe they are more comfortable in who they are.
Last year, we still didn't have the culture that we wanted. We had a good culture, but not the one we wanted. So it was just like go in there like savages, and now we have the culture we want.
The change is that, you know, we're at home. You know, it's a huge advantage to play a home playoff game, you know, in front of your fans. When we play here, what it means to not just us, but everybody in this province.
With the memory of what could have been in the back of their minds.
BC's coming here, and, you know, it should be a heavyweight tilt tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
As a team, I just think having that experience for us last year, I think bodes well. Going second time around.
And hopeful when the clock strikes 0 Saturday, a trip to Winnipeg is in line. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Coming up, we introduce you to a happy baby hippo. Then why the public is being asked to help come up with a name for a couple of critters.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, this hippo calf is loving life at the Berlin Zoo. This little guy, who doesn't have a name just yet, is now being able to be viewed publicly. He's enjoying getting into the water. And here's a fun fact in case you didn't know. Hippos can't actually swim. They do have strong legs, however, so they push off the bottom to glide through the water.
That is interesting. That is a fun fact.
Yeah. And
like the original Superman, who did not fly, he leapt in giant bounds. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
As gracefully as that, I'm sure.
Well, yes, probably.
All right. Well, speaking of beings, creatures without names, the Toronto Zoo is introducing us to a scaly new friend who needs a name. This is a female Komodo dragon who is now viewable for visitors. Komodo dragons are listed as endangered, with fewer than 3,500 remaining in the world. Zoo officials say the male Komodo dragon will likely be out soon as well, and you can vote for their names. The options are for female, Sika, Aura, and Rhea, and for the male, Como, Timon, and Weera. So those are your options.
Those are some interesting options.
Yeah.
One could be named Bob, one could be named Ray. Just spell Ray differently. For all you comedy fans out there, comedy historians, you know where I'm going. What I was going to say was very, very quickly, it's sad to know they're still endangered, because I remember there's a model kit back in the 70s that talked about endangered animals, and the Komodo dragon was one of them. So,
well, gotta do our part. Get out there,
exactly,
name them,
exactly,
help them out, give them a good forecast.
Good forecast for, well, I know cold-blooded animals will like Monday because that's when things are starting to warm up. We've got ourselves a temperature of 8 degrees for Monday, and Remembrance Day is looking good too. So at 9, I changed it, 7 degrees on Tuesday, and then staying on the plus side Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, just a quick note. We know we're having some technical issues on the air. Apparently, we're different colors. Things are distorted, but we do have our technical crew working on that.
Yes, they're working diligently to fix that, but we know what the issue is, so thank you for your patience.
Yes. All right. Well, earlier we showed you students at Edie Fien paying tribute to veterans ahead of Remembrance Day. We will leave you with some of the highlights from today's ceremony. Have a safe and happy weekend. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.